I am here with Joshua Westlund from Westlund Inspections. You guys know I've done 1,000 real estate deals. I've worked my way through the real estate, the inspection world with so many different guys. Josh's approach to me is incredibly detailed. His delivery with the client is one of the best I've seen. And his reports are reports. They're all kind of the same. But his attention to detail on the client delivery and his relationship with the client has proven to be super beneficial for me. I've done, like I said, 1,000 plus deals. All of them get a home inspection. Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got into this business.
Sure, yeah. I went to Yale for undergrad and was an English major, and I got into home inspection through my dad. My dad was looking for somebody to help him when he made a job transition, and I found that I just really loved the analytical side of finding problems in a house, and I love explaining things to people and teaching people about their houses, because the home inspection really is an opportunity for people not just to find out what's wrong with the house, but also to learn how things work, to understand the responsibilities that really come along with homeownership, because a lot of the problems that we find are a result of not doing simple maintenance, not taking care of things. I mean, we just had an insane rainstorm, and many people's basements flooded, and a lot of things that people need to do to keep water out of the basement, most people don't do. But
and you teach them during inspection.
And we're going to show them those things during an inspection, exactly.
Yeah. So before COVID, you were having people follow you around during inspections and kind of shadow you. COVID came, it changed the game a little bit. What are you doing now? Are you having a full shadow? Are you doing like 30-minute recaps in certain locations? How are you educating the client about their home during inspection?
Yeah, so it's something I've learned just from basic concepts of how our brains work and focus. I've really been working on being being focused in my work. When you're looking at a house for a home inspection, you're looking at the roof, you're looking at the structure, electrical, plumbing, heating, air conditioning, testing all the windows, testing all the appliances. There's a lot that goes into it. And so for me to do my best work, what I find is that I focus on looking at the house, identifying the problems, going through things in a systematic way so that I'm sure that I've done the most thorough job possible for a client, because it's very easy to miss problems. Whether it's the homeowner trying to hide things, which I don't think is that common, but sometimes just the things that are in the house can get in the way of seeing the big picture. And sometimes I'll see something, just a little crack on a wall inside a house, that ties into a much larger problem where I'll have to get outside or get on the roof or get in the attic.
And you don't want the client there distracting you.
And so and I think, home inspectors like to talk. A good home inspector really should be a people person, because we want people to be excited about the home purchase, and especially when a lot of the information that we're giving them is somewhat negative, because we're telling you things that are kind of wrong with the house. But every house does have problems. And so we want to get them to a point where they can really ask questions and learn, because a lot of people just don't understand why they should clean their gutters, don't understand how that relates
changing
to water,
changing a
furnace filter.
How long have you been doing inspections?
So I've been doing inspections since 2000. So this is going to be my 23rd year in the business.
What is the number one reason? What's the most important reason to do a home inspection?
Well, I think that really anybody who's buying a house needs an inspection. There's really the reasons not to.
No matter the level, high rise with no mechanicals, up down to a house that's running full, multiple furnaces.
We'll find. I never want to charge anybody to do a service if the service is not going to provide value. And if I've done something for somebody and it didn't provide value, then I don't want to charge them for it. And
has that ever happened?
No.
Okay. Even in a high rise with no mechanicals, and you're just opening windows.
I've had a few that are close, but there always ends up being something that was important. I might give them discount occasionally if they're. We're fair. We want to be fair.
How does the consumer find a good home inspector? It took me a while, and I've gone through a few, and there are some great ones in this industry. again, we have a
Yeah,
great
so
report.
the-
How do they
the-
find
the-
that great inspector? What are the credentials we're looking for?
So in Illinois, our state license requirements are a very low bar to clear. You only have to take basically the equivalent of a 2-week course, about 60 hours of education. And the test is really
60 hours to learn about roofing, electrical, plumbing.
Yeah, I don't know how you could master those things in that amount of time. I mean, that's why, the inspectors that work with me have to apprentice for sometimes years before they're going to be able to work all by themselves, because there are so many different characteristics, so many different component types. In Chicago, we've got some houses from the late 1800s, all the way up to with very different heating systems and things like that. So when somebody's trying to find a home inspector, the important thing to think about is their experience as a home inspector. If you look up my license on the state of Illinois, my license number is 527. My dad's is 341. That means we were licensed in the original wave of home inspectors that were licensed back in 2003. And a lot of home inspectors will like to talk about, well, I've been a contractor for 30 years. Well, the problem with that is most of the problems that we find on home inspections were caused by contractors.
Yes.
And being able to put something together or install something doesn't always correlate with being able to, do forensic analysis, to actually figure out why water is getting into the basement, why there's mold in the attic. Those things.
So you're not only finding the problem, you're actually suggesting solutions.
We try to when it's within our purview. When there is, sometimes there are multiple options. But when a buyer's looking for a home inspector, I think you can look. We've got close to 200 5-star reviews on Yelp, like 150 5-star reviews or more on Google, and you can read what people have to say about us. And I think that is seeing and looking at people's reports. But also, listening to your real estate agent, a real estate agent that you trust. If you trust your real estate agent, there are some agents that tell me I only refer you on the difficult jobs. I had within the last month, I've had 3 agents call for me to do their own personal house.
That's flattering.
But they won't use us for their other clients.
Do you think it's because of cost? Where do you guys lie in the grand scheme of things? If
we're not the cheapest, we're definitely not the cheapest. We're definitely not the most expensive. But again, you don't hire the cheapest doctor. When you're looking for a doctor, you're not.
So
price
tell
shopping.
me, you're out there for 2-3 hours doing a home inspection. What's the behind the scenes timeline? What is it? How much time does it take you to produce that report and get it?
Well, that's where that was the one thing you said that I
curious.
slightly disagreed with was about reports, because I do think that our reports are better in the sense that we really write them.
Yeah.
In
versus
the sense
using
that
a program.
Yeah, because you can read a home inspection report and it will say, I don't know, missing lag bolt at porch, and what does that mean?
You have the picture. You have the.
But it's all about each home inspection item has multiple components to it. So what we use is what we call OCD, because we joke that a home inspector has to be a little bit OCD.
Yeah.
But that's going to be observation, consequences, and direction. So what do I see? The lag bolts are missing. Consequences. Lag bolts are required to laterally connect a porch structure to a building so that that connection won't fail and the porch won't collapse. And then direction, what should we do about it? Hire a qualified porch contractor to install lag bolts. And a lot of home inspection reports will leave out why it's important and what to do about it. And then you get a report that doesn't allow you to really understand, what do I do with all this information? And so I think when you're looking for a home inspector, looking at their reports and honestly asking questions like, how long have you been an inspector? How many inspections have you done? What makes you better than the other inspectors out there?
Do people interview when they call your office? Do they say, "Hey"?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. A lot of times they're just going to call and look for a price,
that's the worst.
And if that's their first question, I'll try to help them understand. Hey, if you're picking based on price, you can call around and find somebody who's going to do it for $100. We might be at $750, but the extra,
and that's based on size. So
and
your
everything
price moves.
is, you just don't know because we have anything from a studio condo to a 12,000 square foot house.
Yes.
So, but the main thing is we're going to find things that the other people don't find.
Truth. Get your house inspected. Absolutely. Call around. I love working with Joshua. His delivery, like I said, with the client, a lot of people are going to find similar issues that Josh finds. He actually goes next level, I'm telling you, but it's the delivery. It's not terrifying the client. It's not killing deals. It's making sure everyone's working as a team. And honestly, we've killed deals. We've had deals that are like, wow, this is not what we thought. And I'm pretty good at sussing out homes. I've seen
and
a
that's
ton.
the mark of a good real estate agent, and that's the mark of the people that
you
we
not
want
walking
to work
into
with.
a deal killer.
because there's a difference between this is not a good house for this particular client for the certain reasons.
Yeah,
some people with an unlimited, I mean, any home inspection problems can be fixed. Somebody going into a house intending to do major rehabs is going to eliminate a lot of the problems that we run into. But in some cases, it could be too much for a client. Yeah. And where other home inspectors sometimes develop a reputation for being a deal killer, or that whole phrase deal killer comes in where, oh my God, look at that, or oh my God, this could kill somebody. Oh
Delivery.
Because most of the problems we find are problems we would find on similar houses in that area, similar houses of that type, similar houses from that time.
And when you phrase it that way to the client, they understand it. That's
because somebody is going to have to deal with this stuff, and people have to also set priorities.
Yep.
We can't fix everything overnight. We want to, and that's the other thing that we work to really do with the client. At the end of the inspection, I should be able to look at the client and the agent as well, and say, why don't you tell me what we think is the most important stuff? And they usually will be able to tell me, okay, well, we need a new roof. There's a leak at the water heater. I need to clean those gutters, and I need a backup sump pump, or whatever it might be. And that is going to be a mark of a home inspector that's communicating the issues appropriately. Because if people are making decisions based on fear, anxiety, or irrationality, you're already anxious when you're buying a house. You're already nervous. Absolutely. You're already overwhelmed, and part of the role of the home inspector is to help focus their attention on the right things.
Totally agree. Josh's info is going to be on this video. Give him a buzz. Give him a try. Appreciate you guys watching.
Thanks.